Welcome back to the vlog. Come watch our 1-year-ish review on the truck and stick around for closer to the end of the video. You get to see the truck do something interesting for the first time. We're gonna do a 1-year review plus what, 3 months at this point?
Well, I was gonna say, like, we kind of missed with the move and everything, and then like little stuff that's been going on since, we kind of missed
doing it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do the 1-year review on the truck 3 months late.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, 3 months and a few days now.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, like, what are your 1-year impressions?
That I love this truck.
Okay, that just reminded me of something. I hate that the standard you push for, because like on a slap shift, like I use drag racing, so when you have it in manual mode, you slap it forward to shift the drag car. Like, it confuses the fuck out of me that you go forward to go down, but I was gonna say, that'll never get old.
That's the best sound in the world.
I was gonna say, the supercharger sound and the exhaust is nice.
Yeah.
Like,
literally like one of my favorite sounds in the whole world.
I was gonna say, when we get to like where we video the outside, you'll see that's like my biggest beef with it. So the quarter panels and everything are so flared out. They collect everything, including apparently quite large rocks. You'll see that once we get to the one where we show it clean. But yeah, it's also like it's the most comfortable thing. And like working at car dealers and at Enterprise, I've driven so many things that isn't even funny. Like,
that is true. Like,
you can't count, like, it's well over like 70 or 80 different vehicle models. And then like my uncle has had 2 different years of Porsche Boxsters, so I've driven those.
Because I was gonna say, like not that I go for long drives all the time in this thing, but like by the time, like when I was driving the car to Helena when I was going to school there, like by the time I'd get there, my butt, like I'd have to kind of adjust, like my butt would start like going numb or like hurting or whatever.
Okay, look, you must have been sitting weird, because the car's comfy too, just not to this level.
That happened quite often. I don't know why. The car is quite comfy usually, but I don't know. Anyway, but this, like, I've never had that happen.
Boise.
Yeah, and I didn't have issues then, so I don't know. But
maybe it's because you could shift around more. Maybe it's just because you were tense, because you were going through the canyons and stuff, and sometimes it's snowy.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say,
you're super like, oh god.
I also didn't drive to Idaho, so like I was a passenger princess that day.
You could shift around or back either.
Yeah, but anyway, like I've never had an issue with this thing, whether I was driving or being a passenger.
Yeah, and it's kind of fascinating, like how much the heated seat and steering wheel, how much hotter and how much quicker it gets than the car.
That is true.
It's like like if your hands are really cold, it'll be like, ooh, that's like, feels almost like it burned you, whereas the car, it's like you could, like, even after it's been on for like 20 minutes, it isn't super
hot. Yeah.
Because that's another one we just discovered, because I really quickly grabbed a Megan cigarette lighter based charger, and I was like, we were looking around, and there's like down in the ones that are by the wireless charging pad, and like then there's an outlet, like a wall outlet in the back of the center console and inside of it. But then the funny thing is, show where we found it. Oh my God.
Well, and at first I did see that, but at first I thought it was just a wall one again.
Well, it had a picture of a battery.
I didn't look that close at it.
But think about what that one's for. Anybody that's ever used like a radar detector, so that your radar detector cord ain't down across the window or down across like your display.
Yeah.
So that's 100% what that's for.
Which is hilarious.
I know. Because that's another one that's like, I've shown it a couple times when like the time on the music won't sync up. And like, it's quite rare, but you get the occasional time where like the screen's super laggy, and then there was like that day we went to update it, and it was like the next, like, we were driving, like doing stuff all over Butte, and like the next like 3 stops it didn't even turn on. Like, it doesn't even have like something being like, hey, we're still updating. So like when, technology, like if like for a little while I was like, oh my god, was I not supposed to turn the truck off?
Right.
And like, because if something crashes when it's attempting to update, so yeah, that made me a little paranoid. And it's like, there was one day when I was bringing Nathan to school fairly recently where it just like right before I shut it off, it just like turned off, and I was like, what the heck? And then the weird crap that happened to me the other day where...
Sorry for the bumpy video. By the way, we're in the mountains.
Oh God! Well, that we just accidentally ended up with an extra one of those ones because like the rain sensing wipers are weird because like I just went through a puddle where you couldn't see out the window. They went right away, but now it's like there's stuff running back down and it hasn't gone again. But then like the other day,
like stuff dripping right there.
The other day it was foggy and like I think everybody knows like the slight like the little water droplets that will settle on stuff when it's foggy. I like backed out of the garage and I was out of the garage for maybe a half second and they already were like trying to get the fog off. Like so they're kind of inconsistent. But yeah, the thing with the display or the system again that I was talking about was when we were on the phone and like I was trying to video call so she could talk to Nathan. Like I was gonna give Nathan the phone and it wouldn't let me do it. And I was trying to figure out why. And it was like, for some reason, the truck kept forcing me back onto Bluetooth. Like, I don't know if that's just the phone, the truck, a little bit of both. But it kept turning my, turning the Bluetooth back on, which then you can't do a video call when you're on Bluetooth, apparently. But yeah, that was really weird because like I kept
some sort of safety feature.
Probably, but I kept actively turning it off, and that was miserable. But yeah, and then that's like one like the rear view camera. Like I was like, that's weird. I don't think I like it. Nick grew on me within like 2 minutes, and now I can't stand using the mirror.
Video rear view mirror thing.
Plus, it's kind of neat, like when like it's raining or something, like you can see the drops. Yeah. And then it's kind of weird too, because I don't know if we've shown that, but it's kind of weird, like when you look, like things look, then like if you look out the back or just use the normal mirror. And I mean, it makes sense because the camera's closer to it, but it isn't by that much. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, now whenever I get in the car or the Jeep or something, I'm like, wait, what's going on? Because I have to use the actual mirror.
Yeah, that happens to me a lot with like that and the rain sensing wipers and the auto high beams. The auto high beams are a little bit annoying though. I think we've mentioned this before too. Like going up Emmett and Butte where it like goes, then it like levels off for the cross streets. When it levels up for the cross streets, it's not picking up the street lights, so they turn on bright. Then when you start climbing again where it picks up the street lights again, they turn back off. So like in some situations, they'll basically blink.
Yeah, and then you look like you're drunk or something. Well,
yeah, it's like there's some, it's cool, and it's I really love it on the highway because it's like
you don't ever have to worry about your high beams being on when you pass.
Yeah, and it picks it up like perfectly timed too. Because yeah, like one of my only gripes, and I think I mentioned this during the winter, is like it kind of there might have also been times I screwed up and didn't have it in snow mode, but I don't. And I mean, that's probably what happened, because it does keep it at a pretty high RPM when I'm in the snow. I never in snow mode. Because I kind of don't like the way it, like if you're in snow and you don't have it in snow mode, which then it's kind of your own fault, but like it doesn't perform well in the snow unless you're building boost. So if you're not in snow mode and it's only at like 1,500 or 2,000 RPMs and you get into some deep snow, you sink and you're doomed before you ever get a chance to like do anything. So then you got to stomp it. It makes it interesting because then it's like you'll dig more and it'll kick you sideways and all sorts of obnoxious stuff. And then I guess that's another, like one of the other small gripes is like the surround view camera. Because like obviously the bottoms of the side mirrors get a lot of mud from the front tires. So like the surround view camera, because then obviously like any vehicle, the rear view the backup camera gets covered. So you end up with every one of the cameras, if it's like fairly muddy, except for the one on the front covered.
I've never really messed with the cameras that much.
Well, yeah, but it automatically goes on to surround view when you back up.
Well, yeah, but I don't really use them.
Oh yeah, and then I guess that the auto braking for reverse, if you don't turn it off, like
obnoxious.
Yeah, it's like it'll be like grass and it'll stop it, or like the front parking sensor will do the same thing. It'll start beeping at you when it's just grass. But if the tailgate's down, the back, it must sense the bumper at that point, because then it dynamites the brakes on you. Because it must be used. I don't know. because it must use the camera or something. Or if it's using, I think they're on the bumper, and it's probably picking up the tailgate.
Oh, probably.
Like that part where the tailgate like comes like this, because then it'll be down and kind of in front of the cameras.
That's one thing I very recently had happen when I was driving the truck. I think it was like last time I drove the truck, because I had never like had the cross motion.
Oh, the
cross traffic
traffic when you're backing up.
Yeah, I've never had that go off until like last week or something. I actually kind of like that.
It is actually pretty nice.
Like, because I mean, not that I'm not paying attention when I'm backing up, but when you're in a parking lot, you're trying to back up and you can't see a lot, and then it starts beeping at you, and then you know, like, there's someone behind you, and you, like, kind of look in the camera and stuff.
Well, that was like, and it picks them up pretty far, because when we went, remember when we was in the courthouse, I think it was to get the plates for this or the car or something, and, like, there was that long, like, long box regular cab F-250, so it was like super duper long, so I couldn't see around it, so I just kind of started easing out, and it beeped, and that was the first time I experienced it.
It did it to us this morning too.
Yeah, and I was like, that's kind of, I'm like, what the heck is that? And then I like look, and they're just like coming around the corner, so they're like, it's kind of weird. I don't even know how it senses them that far out, because it's like, yeah, they were good. I mean, maybe it's just like there's something moving with a fairly decent velocity coming in toward you.
Yeah.
Because you can sense it coming closer. But that was like probably like 80, 90 feet at least.
Or not disappointing, but compared to what the Alpine radio or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But yeah, compared to like the Alpine, what is it called?
Alpine Premium Audio, that's in the car.
That's in the car and the Jeep. It's like not as good.
Well, we gotta figure out some songs and try it, because I had something on the other day where I'm like, that actually hits pretty good. Because it's like, clarity wise, it's like maybe a smidge better, but like how the bass hits, like, I don't think this is as good, but I at the same time, I don't think we've like, because like what the, that one College, Real Human Being, like that song hits pretty hard. There's like a few songs.
Real Hero, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know, it's a real, yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of the two, and then the other's in parentheses. It's one of those songs. Oh. But either way, like that one, like, because I do enjoy the bass quite a bit, so yeah, the fact it doesn't hit quite as hard is a little disappointing-ish. Alright, what's the new verdict?
Okay, so we just tested it with the song we were just talking about, The Real Hero.
That's another thing that makes it tough.
Real Hero by Electric Youth and College. I don't know, it hits different.
But you want to know what makes it tough? I want to hear. So I almost never have it above like 12.
So it's
the
really
car, especially like on my rides to Helen, I have it cranked half the time.
That's true. So it's really it hits different, but then also like you don't need it.
It's louder. I think it's louder. I'm pretty sure it's louder.
The audio is louder, but
I think it's at full volume. It's a little clearer than the other two. But it's like, it's weird because like the bass doesn't sound as loud, but I can feel it in my body more than I do in the car.
Yeah. Like the whole door, like I put my hand on the door like by the speaker and the whole door was vibrating.
Oh, that's yeah, it's like, it's kind of weird because it's like in the car, like, and the Jeep both, like it hits hard enough that the mirror's vibrating to the point it's like hard to use the rearview mirror. I did also think of like a trivial thing. See, this shows how like little I care about fuel mileage. But really, like,
we didn't even talk about fuel mileage.
Yeah, even fairly often hot rodding. Like, granted, I lately haven't been able to keep the cruise set on the highway, so I've only been going like 60 on the highway, which helps.
Because of construction.
Because there's been so much construction. But it's like, I think I said this like right after we got it. I figured it'd settle out at about 13. Like, it was at 13.5 before this trip, and I've been hot rodding a bit. But it's sitting at 13.2, and it's like, I haven't seen it blow like 12.7 even when I'm hot rodding a lot for a while. That'll change in hunting season, because when you're in like snow mode and mud mode and stuff like that, and you're kind of in it a little bit, and like you're on up and down hills, it'll drop to probably 10, because like last hunting season, I think after hunting season it was down to like an 8.9 or something.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
and
just
I've noticed-
normal driving, it sits around 13.
I've noticed when I'm driving and it's like not the average, but like the little current number
Oh, yeah.
is usually at like a 9 when I'm driving.
Yeah, she manages, our car like gets like 31, 32 when I drive it. When she drives it, it gets like 24.
I don't know what I do. I have my grandma's lead foot apparently.
Well, yeah, you kind of scare me. Plus, it's all town driving, which is already going to hurt it. And then if every time you leave a stoplight, you're like, because like,
Not every time.
but there is an interesting thing. I got it down to like stomping it one day. I noticed like the current was at 1. I want to see if I can get to 0.
Oh, I've gotten the current on the car at 1 many times.
Because I wonder if it like rounds, like, because if it round down, like you got to like 0.5 miles per gallon, if it round down. See, this shows how little I care about.
Bad, though?
What?
Could you even make that, like, get that bad if you wanted?
Well, I think if you were like on it really hard, and then especially out of the hole, because technically you're not going that fast yet, so you're not covering many miles.
Oh, that's true.
Like, I mean, it doesn't take long for it to get going fast, but like, especially if you were in a situation where you get it to lose traction. I don't even know why there's 2, because I've mentioned that about the car. There's 2 different things that track fuel mileage. One has a current, the other one doesn't. Like, why?
That is stupid, because I thought I just couldn't see it from over here. Cause
yeah, and like, what's the purpose of the one that doesn't have current? It's like, oh boy, it adds one little extra thing.
Like, yeah, like, why would not the only thing, but like one of the only things that you look at is like your current.
Well, no, I look at the life.
Oh, and that's another thing. The storage, like under the seats and everything, is pretty badass, I think. Because
that's part of the reason I didn't say anything about that. It's not that much different than any other modern truck.
Well, no, but I've never seen it. I can still like it.
Well, and I really do, actually. See, they're the auto wipers must have sensed some dust. But because I guess that is one thing, like, point back here. Because this is as far out as it'll extend, but you can, like, lay that flat. Or it slides back. How does that work? Because there's one where it'll be, like, back further, so if you don't need as much, and then you can have more here. But then you can also tumble it all the way up, where it's, like, way up in here. So it's not there at all. So it's diverse, and then you can basically have it where, like, if you have the seats flipped up, the whole back is open, so you have like that much space.
And this thing is pretty gigantic, but that's probably normal.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I guess technically we never talked about Easter eggs, because there's like...
Oh, we talked about that when we got it, though.
Yeah. And we didn't really discover any new ones.
No.
No, because I was going to say this inside. There's not a more badass looking nose of a truck.
No.
Because, like, even the Raptors, because you see them around a lot, they're flat. They're just kind of plain. I mean, just like any front plate bracket, they're completely dumb and they got all crumpled. Because it's like, oh, you got a skid plate that can handle hitting a rock, but then the stupid plastic license plate thing. But this is what I was talking about with the dirt. Like, this is, I mean, I guess we're in the hills right now, but it doesn't look any different. And I mean, I've recorded that a lot, so you've seen it. Like, one trip down our road is all it takes. And then once we get it clean, we'll show you like how much the rocks like eat up this. Like, it might even be bad enough you'll be able to see it. It's on the other side without having it clean.
Because even though we're in the hills, you can kind of tell like the difference. Like, those are obviously new because they're wet, but like this is all dry.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be dry if it was fresh.
Well, I mean, wind. So let's see if you can tell. Where is that one? Nah, we'll have to wait till it's clean, probably. Because we'll also show it roughly clean. And I guess that is one other thing. Because, yeah, this is what I was talking about with, like, the cameras. Because there's the camera lens. I just recently cleaned it. But, yeah, I don't know. It's like, when you're buying a truck like this, you're not using it a ton for the bed. But, like, the bed isn't super huge. But, I mean, it's good enough. But I did show that when the pallet that was from our TV, like, had to be in there angled, and it was, like, as full as you could get it. But, yeah, I kind of don't like... Because it would, I mean, I don't know, because I wouldn't want the retractable ones, but, like, the little steps that Chevy has right there would be kind of nice. Because, I mean, for me, it ain't that big of a deal. But I also don't like that. Because that's the only place where, like, where it drains water without taking the plugs out. Yeah, because Megan can't even get in.
I mean, I could, If I was wearing heat, that'd probably help.
Feasibly. She also has no strength, though. That doesn't help either. But yeah, like.
Because I don't want to push on that and put my body weight on it.
You could. I stand on it all the time. Look at all the footprints from when I've been at the dump.
Okay, got it. I'm dirty.
Okay. But yeah, like I guess, but all those retractable ones, those would just be a place for mud to collect and to get screwed up. But yeah, because like that's part of the reason we didn't get the bed package, because if you got the liner, it automatically came with those rails that go in there, and they're aluminum, and like the little slidable hooks would end up rattling around, and the aluminum wouldn't be that, like it would take nothing if you were like if you were directly above, like right here, directly in the middle of those two, and you were using that aluminum, like had the aluminum rails, and you cranked and you want one in the middle usually, you crank down a ratchet strap, you could bend that aluminum so easy.
I don't think it's posting for another couple of months, but Matt also did a little tiny comparison of like these things, of the.
Oh, like some of the weird little stuff that's bigger on the Colorado.
Yeah, that's bigger on his dad's Colorado.
Okay, get out.
I don't think that's going until like November, but.
I was gonna say that's pretty much brand new, so it'll be a long time. Probably December. Jump! Oh my god, you're afraid of. Good grief.
Just jumping out of the truck sometimes makes my legs hurt.
Oh my god.
From the impact.
But yeah, I mean, we haven't pulled anything more in the boat, but it does pull good. I want to pull my buddy's flatbed trailer because it has trailer brakes and stuff to see that.
The exhaust looks cool.
Yeah, I like the way the exhaust looks too. And I do, that is one thing. I kind of wish we would have gotten the rack to put the spare in the back, because like that's kind of.
Oh yeah.
It wouldn't be that hard to catch the spare on something. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Send you down a spare because you puncture it or something.
Or like, yeah, like rip the sidewall out, or maybe even bend the wheel. But that's the thing, like we're not going to be doing anything that, like, because we have the Jeep for like rock climbing type stuff. Like that's not going to happen like on normal dirt roads flying, because we have a new rule. We're not turning it into a pavement queen by any means, but like the first time we ever had it in the hills, we ended up on this road that was more grown in than I realized, and oh my god, like as wide as it is, it does not take much for it to be in the trees really bad. It's going to become like a
wide dirt road.
Well, I was going to say, stay on like the roughly beaten path in the mountains. It can be the worst road, like from the way the road is, one of the worst roads ever. But if it's anything that's grown in or that we're not familiar with, we're going to take the Jeep. Or if it's something like where we know it's like you need a really short wheelbase or narrow or something, we'll take the Jeep.
Yeah, like if we go on that road again.
Yeah, next time.
The vents look cool. I like the way the vents look.
Well, those ones are fake. The ones on the front are actually active.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, and that's actually another thing. Oh, you pop the hood really quick. Because that's another thing I like, is like how, besides the ones on the kind of the vents on the taillights back there, they're like every vent is real. Like, because this vent comes out the one that's on the back there, and then like all of these vent under the hood.
I just noticed a thing.
What?
The hood popping button has a picture of a car.
Does it? Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me?
Mm-mm. Here. It's a car. It's not even a truck. It's just a car.
That's funny.
Same one as in our car, I think.
See, this is another thing though that I'm not a huge fan of.
How dirty it gets under there.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, like, because if there was just, because I come over, this is an easier side to see it on. Like, it wouldn't be that hard to have like those shields come down a little bit more, because if you're using this as what you're supposed to,
it's gonna.
Which they clearly know people aren't gonna. Yeah, they'd like, it would be nice to block some of that mud coming up in here. And if they're like, they probably know most people are gonna use it as a pavement queen, and it isn't gonna matter.
Can you clean this? Like, I mean, obviously you could, but.
Yeah, but it sucks. I hate getting water under hoods because I've had it.
Yeah, like stuff. That's just gonna be destroyed. Oh, okay.
Because this is one that's one of those stupid like Uber first world problems, which can honestly probably be changed. But I love that startup until right. It didn't do it. Oh no, that ain't what I was thinking of. I was thinking of this. Oh, that, yeah. Because it's like, it shows it with the tire in the back. The Ram bar shows a silver one, but I discovered in our car, like when because this is on the Android Auto one, But when you go into the actual nav that's like built into the vehicle, like in our car, wow, it doesn't have any of the mountain roads in TomTom apparently. But you can change that so that it's like various vehicles. Like you can put like almost any Chrysler product in our car. And that's kind of like, I'm assuming similarly, like, because it's one of those things, like there's a lot of stuff I still haven't screwed with, like settings wise. I've maybe messed with half. Because,
oh, really?
yeah, it's like I don't want to just sit there. I want to play with it. And it's like, 99% of it you can't do when you're driving, even if it's like changing the background on this when you're on like any of these menus, that like texturing. But I'm assuming somewhere in the settings, because at this point in time, like this was before the Havoc edition. This was the same time as the ignition package, but I mean, there's only like 6 color options outside of those special ones, so it wouldn't be that hard to have them all in there. And then like, I mean, having it remove the ram bar, but it would be kind of cool if if they could like just program it in, be like, okay, it's hydro blue, no ram bar. So like the thing that pops up on your dash would match.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of also like, I wonder why they picked silver. Because I feel like it seems to me like the most common ones are black.
Black. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, and that's another thing I like that's really nice is I like I think I've mentioned this, I like our digital gauge cluster. Because I almost thought about like trading it in to get another brand new one right before they end, but they went to that stupid full digital cluster and I hate it.
Oh yeah, I like having like the normal speedometer and RPM thing. TAC. Sorry.
Yeah, and it looks cooler. Like no matter what you put on a screen, it doesn't look cool as a real gauge cluster.
Yeah.
And then I mean, like if you're into classics, like all of them have that, and that's what makes it weird. Is like this is like a muscle truck, so you'd think you'd bring in the muscle crowd.
Mm-hmm. Because the full digital one, you could probably put the TAC and the speedometer up, right? But
oh yeah,
you
can
did a digital version.
But yeah, it's flat.
Yeah.
I mean, like unless they make it where it's like the 3DS where it does 3D without the glasses. Yeah, because that's another thing, I guess, because like like the canyons going to Helena, like I leave the cruise set at 80 all the way through those canyons, like in everything, but like this doesn't feel that much different than the car going around recommended speed of 45, because that was one of the things that dude at that Mustang thing said. He's like, well, yeah, it's like, once we brought back the Raptor R, the TRX was dusted again, and it's like, even before that, like, Ram decided to turn it into a straight line thing, but it can't do anything else. And it's like, I could probably go, like, if you took this to, if I took this to an autocross event and someone had a Raptor, I mean, it'd probably be driver ability, but if someone had a Raptor and they were like, you go ahead and drive it, and I drove, like, they let me run it for, like, 20, 30 laps, so I was used to it, so it wasn't just like that I'm used to this. Because I've driven Raptors too, not a R, obviously, but I've driven every other iteration of Raptor, and that, like, handling wise, this would dust a Raptor. And I've driven every other Raptor, and it's like when we could put it in Baja mode and tear across the top up here. That was one of the earliest vlogs we did. Like, I mean, I haven't actually jumped it yet, but that's the thing. Like,
that was the first day I got to drive it.
Oh yeah,
I'll link that video for you guys.
But yeah, because like Mike jumped a Raptor shortly before the TRX, and like he didn't even get as much distance, and he didn't get as much distance, but it was like he was even like, okay, even though like the TRX didn't handle it as well, because it has way more power, so I launched it way further on accident. But he was even he was like, oh yeah, that lands smoother. And then that's another thing too, is like, you think about that, like that shows how good the TRX is compared to the Raptor, because he's had all of them repeatedly, and he keeps going back to a TRX.
Yeah. And
he says like it's the best vehicle he's ever driven, and it's like, it really is, because with the space, the comfort, like it's got a bed. I mean, yeah, if you want to haul like 16-foot pieces of 2x4, like it isn't, but like it's practical for every normal everyday activity, but still has a bed when you got to do some truck stuff. I mean, like, heck, I mean, we could have fit our TV in here, because remember the one the second one that came back, the broken one.
Yeah.
Like, we had to have the tailgate down, but like you can fit a giant TV in here. I guess not giant, that one's up to like 120 now, so. Yeah, I wonder how fun it'd be trying to get one of them to your house unbroken.
Yeah.
But I guess if it's Old Dominion, it'd be great. But yeah, it's like, it's just, and then like the amount of space there is in the back seat, if you fold the seats and everything up, like there's just more room than a trunk. And then like heated and cooled seats and steering wheel, heated steering wheel and power. Like, you're never gonna get stuck behind someone in 2-lane. Like, yeah, it's definitely like, but then to have like, it just drive, like, people like that are so dumb because it's like, oh my god, like the Raptor cannot do it on this and that, even the old slow one can, and it's like it's lighter, so it's better for Baja. It's like, yeah, it's better for getting airborne because it's lighter in the nose. The nose isn't gonna sink so quick, because that's another reason Mike knows that first TRX so bad. It's because the front's so much heavier, but it's like, oh boy, when you're out horsepowering, it's like, yeah, like you might have to like lift a little bit more to not get as much air. But if you put like a TRX like against the style, like the V6 one that they said would beat the TRX in like a Baja style race, all the TRX has to do is get off of it so it doesn't get quite as airborne, and then like right after they do that, leave the Raptor back in the dust in the straights.
Yeah.
And that's actually another thing about it too, because I've seen 2 of them, of the like 8 I've been around and or driven. Like,
there the wipers went, right? You didn't do that?
I almost never turn the wipers on in this anymore, manually. Unless like this, where it's like there's still speckles. Or I accidentally hit the button. But because one of the things the Raptors were famous for is like having the frame bend just a little bit, where like the gap between the cab and the box, the top part of the box, start touching the cab.
Ooh.
And I've seen 2 and driven 1 that are like that, and it's like, that's a thing I've never even heard of on the TRX yet. And it's like, so yeah, that one's so much better. It's just like, I just don't like when people can't be realistic. It's like you're a Ford boy at a Ford thing. But I guess I've mentioned that, like, that's the way console war people are. Like Microsoft, like with all the new leaks with their attempted acquisition of Activision, they're making it sound like they just want to do hostile takeover the entire game industry. And then even with doing a bunch of takeovers, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to get out of gaming if we can't make Game Pass profitable by 2025, which is probably just a smoke show. But at the same time, it's like, oh, you want to go buy a bunch of people, like probably lay some people off, completely restructure companies, and then just bail if you don't make enough money? Like, and as much as like but Xbox fanboys like just yell at you and be like, you're just a Sony pony, and it's like the same exact concept, but with, you know, old, like in the case of those 2 old men. But I mean, I guess, I don't know, because like gaming is getting so, like, so many older people game now that, you know, you're not really, it's good. I think it'd be kind of rare, because as many young people don't care that much about vehicles. It'd be kind of rare to find someone like super young that gets super invested in the TRX Raptor battle. I mean, you'll find some, but not a ton. Like gaming's weirdly getting into all ages. Ooh, if you hit that bump, that last one right there at the wrong time and say you're airborne into that tree, that would not be fun. Oh, that's one. Poof! I came way off the seat for that one.
Me too.
Oh, I didn't get that washout good. I thought it was gonna for a second. Ugh! I should probably actually put my seatbelt on.
Yeah.
I'm getting really far off the seat.
I was gonna say, that's what I was gonna say, is I actually have my seatbelt on and I'm still kind of coming off the seat. Are you in Baja mode yet? Or
no, I didn't even change modes. See, this is...
Holy...
These would be a good spot to get our first air, but I don't know
how I feel about that.
I don't have the... we probably were off the ground on at least one of them. But I don't really have the balls.
See, I kind of wish I was filming you from outside the truck.
That's what we need to do next time we come up here, is put the GoPro where it's watching the tires.
Yeah.
But no, that's the thing, is like, because that's like, for those of you who like don't watch his videos but know of Mike The YouTuber that like
Street Speed 717.
Yeah, that knows that TRX jump in it. He was like, he had a speed he wanted to hit the jump with, and then as he was like, right as he got to the ramp, he was like, oh, I want a little, like, I want to give it a little gas to kick the nose up. But the TRX has so much power that when he did that, he spiked to like 14 miles an hour. So he ended up way faster than he planned to be, so he flew way further.
Yeah, because he had the math. He did the math and everything of what.
I don't know if he was really that doing the math on those early ones.
Oh.
Like that.
I think, well, I know later. On some of his
like
later
when
jumps, he was doing the math to figure out exactly like what speed he had to hit it.
Well, and he built the ramps and landing pads and everything. That one didn't have landing. That was just like a jump into space. Fuck.
What was that?
Cow shit. But yeah, because I kind of do. Like, if I could come up here and measure one of these and be like, okay, to get just like come off the ground like 2 feet, I'd have to hit it going blah. But like not knowing, like, because every single one of them's different. So not knowing like the exact shape and size of it and what speed I'd need to hit it at, I know in my luck I'd end up with one of those ones where it's like, oh, I'm 8 feet in the air and at like 40 feet of air time as I'm coming down nose first.
Yeah.
See, like this one, like if I'd have stayed on it there, this one would have been air for sure. That one, that would have been way too much speed for that one, I think. Plus, that's another thing here too, is like with it go as much as it's going downhill, a lot of times, like you'd end up
picking up
like,
speed anyway.
Well, no, I was gonna say you don't have like a good landing spot. You're landing on hard road.
Oh yeah.
Like I'd rather build like a little ramp where it's like, okay, like I know if I like, you could basically just drive off of it and then like be landing in like fairly soft, like unpacked black dirt.
Okay, I will say, I'm impressed.
Your phone stayed there?
My phone is still in the little cubby thing.
And that's the thing, that whole...
Because if we were in the Jeep right now and I had my phone there, it'd be in the back seat.
Oh, I hit more cow shit.
Stop hitting cow shit.
Well, I'm trying not to, but there's a lot of it. No, that's the one in the Jeep's super deep, so it probably wouldn't have.
Oh, that's true.
If it was the same depth as this one.
I don't know, I think my phone has gone flying out of that thing before, though.
Oh, yeah, but that's what's kind of weird, though. That's more of like an abrupt, like, not like a gradual, like you come off a bump. Like, those are more like, holy shit, there was a big hole there.
That's true. Emergency buttons are very close to the dome light buttons.
Yeah, and if it was dark enough to where you needed the dome light.
And the open close the rear window button. Yeah. Interesting.
Plus, I didn't know we were in a ship.
What is this button?
This button?
No, this button.
That turn, like basically the dome light doesn't come on when you open the door.
Oh. And that one's the tailgate, I'm assuming?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize we were in a ship. I thought it was a truck.
Save our ship.
I should hit it and be like, I didn't know I was in a ship.
Is that what SOS actually means?
I think that's what it means, isn't it?
Someone tell me in the comments if you know.
Because that is like one other thing too, is like the launch control's a little bit weird, because like when Megan tried to use it, like she couldn't even...
failed horribly.
Yeah, I was going to say she failed horribly, and it's like...
I think if there wasn't a car that came up behind me, therefore making me panic, it would
Well, and you shouldn't have panicked anyway. But that's the thing, though, is it's like, it's just kind of weird, because it's like, oh, you got to mash the brake, and then sometimes it's like, it doesn't seem to matter what you do, you're never quite mashing it hard enough, and it'll still try to roll. Like, maybe once I go make some passes at the drag strip, and like, you know, I actually have beams keeping me, so that I know if I actually jumped, like, I'll get a better feel for it. Because like, I've used it like twice on dirt and like 5 or 6 times on the street screwing around. and never like had a consistent surface or anything like that. Guess this is a good demonstration of how much new, I was gonna say shit, but quite literally. Yeah, that's how much stuff gets splattered on those quarter panels. Okay, one other thing. That thing's like, gets hot to the touch. It's not even that hot out. Because what'd you just say it was, 75? Like sun beating in the window? Like I touched my arm on that and it's like, yeah, it could almost make you crash.
Yeah, with Matt getting in and out a bunch because we held the boat in the back. Then Matt said he would actually maybe prefer having the step there.
Because like, if you go to both sides, you end up kicking the sheet metal weight.
Yeah, you can see where he kicked it a bunch.
Well, not kick,
or you know what I mean, like where his foot rubbed on it.
Okay, so two other things that just came up. This seam on the back, like knockoff WeatherTechs. It's actually impressive how well it locks together. And then the bright pedal pack, not only do you not really see it, but they get full of dirt anyway, so it's kind of pointless. And also these style of floor mats, literally just pressure washing them without doing anything else, it actually worked out pretty darn good. And you can kind of see scratches where I've tried to get in the corner with the tire brush. It didn't cause more of them, so actually not a bad plan. But then you gotta bust the pressure washer out every time you want to clean your floor mats. Okay, so now that it's clean, because like this corner of the hood collects a lot of dirt, so like stuff's automatically like back down on it. There's like, yeah. And that was even with popping the hood and pressure washing there. I guess a lot of vehicles have those spots like that. But this is kind of what we were talking about. Like, look at how dirty it already is there. And that was with like a mile of dirt. And then, it's not that bad. No, it's honestly not. No, and this is another thing, like, because here's another spot with like where a spot holds dirt and a miss spot. But then this is another thing that's on all new vehicles, but like this drives me nuts. Like an old square body Chevy is straight across, straight on the front, and just has a cutout like where the plate goes. Like, what is wrong with that? And it's like there's no place for dirt to collect. But this is the one where a rock came up and got right here, and that one's bad enough where it's a full-on dent. But yeah, like that one, that's a scratch. Like this needs, oh yeah, that's a scratch. The black on this, it's kind of nice, but it's also really shitty. It almost needs a clear wrap. And then here, with the quarter panel sticking out so much, a mild tangent, it's a piece of advice. Like, smoke sticks. Like, if you're in the mountains, hit sticks. Just hit them. Because I, like, tried to miss it, and then, like, the front tire, like, caught, like, that much of it, and it makes it flip up. There's a big old scratch in the Jeep door. There's a scratch on red. Because it's like, if you try to miss it and then barely hit it, it, like, flips, makes it, like, flip up.
For a second, I thought you were saying smoke sticks, like smoke, like,
yeah,
in the air, sticks to things. And I was like, what?
No, you'd rather just, like, run it over.
Yeah, I figured that out.
Another spot that's on, like, most new trucks. Like, there's so many spots that, like, collect the dirt. And then another thing, if I hadn't pressure washed it, this stuff's hard to get clean, and like it's tough to not, like, you don't want to get the tire brush on the paint.
I was gonna say, it's even though you pressure washed it, look at it.
Yeah. And then this is on all vehicles, but like those things, when like, if it's any vehicle that goes in the mud, that gets full of mud.
That's full of dripping, huh?
And then the like, then you can't roll the window down.
That's still better than it was.
The Jeep windows are really scratched because you can't really help it. Yeah, and then that's another place, is like around this where it's running down, and then once you go down the road, I don't know. But that's like, this car has the exact same thing there. And like, then there's like spots on the mirrors. Like, every vehicle has that crap. Especially this. This has like 400 of them. Because there's this thing, like around that. These things, all the like door handle, mirror, pretty much everything. So yeah, I guess almost all stuff, especially new stuff, has that. But then like that trim that would go like on a body line here on a square body Chevy, that's like, if you know how it comes apart, it's like a C that like clips over the clamps. That stuff's really bad because then it can settle up in that under hook. Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, and stick around for more truck content.